Hello, good evening, namaste. I am Shweta Sarkar Ghosh, your host for the evening. I work with HCL Tech for about 3 years now. Today, I welcome you to our episode of TechBee webinar, which is quite a most popular show amongst youngsters from all over India. TechBee started back in 2017. TechBee is HCL's early career program for individuals looking for full-time jobs after class 12, thereby making them financially independent. We have many thousands of students actually joining us for this program every year. One such student is Kaushangi Dua, a proud HCL techie and a software engineer. I will show you a quick video testimonial of her. In this video, we hear about how she found her spark in the tech industry through TechBee, our early career program. Kaushangi's inspiring success story surely resonates with many in her generation. Arindam, could I request you to please play Kaushangi's video here?
Are you starting a tech career right after class 12? This very thought puts so many questions in our mind. Why a job now? Why don't we finish education first? And so on. Hi, I'm Kaushangi Dua, a full-time employee working in HCL Tech right after my class 12. When I first heard about this program, I was confused. How is it possible for somebody to work at large tech companies without having a computer science degree? I accepted this opportunity as I could see growth in my future, which I need to think about right after graduating from high school. Now I'm pursuing graduation from Amity University along with my job. It's been 1.5 years working here. I have learned so many things such as coding properly, working as a team, and publicly and professionally talking to others. Learning about professional skills at an early age helped me build my confidence. This program has allowed me to push myself out of my comfort zone and develop my career path. Are you starting a tech career?
So that was Kaushangi, a celebrity TechBee who joined and who really made a name for herself. In this note, let me now invite Mr. Subbaraman Balasubramaniam, popularly known as Subba. He has almost 28 years of experience in the global IT business, and he's currently the Senior Vice President at HCL Tech. Subba, if you can hear us.
Yeah, Shweta, Subhai joining shortly. So till the time you can proceed with Professor Venkat.
Sure. So we will, yes. So I was seeing that network problem. So we will now quickly introduce our guest speaker for the day, Professor K. Venkat. He is from BITS Pilani, has over 31 years of experience, all within BITS Pilani. My God, in today's time, that is really great, something to look up to. His experience includes teaching and academic administration in various leadership roles over the years. BITS Pilani, established in 1964 as a deemed university, deemed to be university, has campuses at Pilani, Dubai, Goa, Hyderabad, and Mumbai. So welcome, sir. Welcome on board. If you could just tell us a little more about yourself and the program.
Oh, good evening, everyone. Thank you for the opportunity. It's wonderful interacting with all the student audience here. It's my pleasure. Good evening, Mr. Subbaraman, and
Hello, Professor Venkat.
welcome all of you. So, I have been part of BITS Pilani, and as you know, BITS Pilani is an institution of eminence deemed to be a university, one of the premier institutes of the country, offering continuing technical education programs for employed professionals for a long time. I've been associated with what is popularly known as the work integrated learning programs, which has an alumni base of over 1 lakh students from leading industries who have partnered with BITS to enhance the qualifications and upskill their employees. And we are proud to be partnering with HCL to upskill their employees, especially the TechBee scholars. Good evening, and thank you all for this opportunity to interact with you.
So now I have already introduced you, Subhasa. So if you could just tell us somewhat about yourself and your association with HCL Tech and about the program.
Sure, sure. Thank you. A very good evening, one and all assembled here. Good evening, Shweta. Good evening, Professor Venkat again. This is Subbaraman. I've been with this company for 20, this is my 28th year in HCL Tech. Joined as a freshman here, trying to do various jobs and roles. Technologically, then went on to build lead teams, build businesses, and now I am running a few strategic initiatives like this. TechBee. Happy to be connected with all of you today evening and see how we can help you in this journey with Bitspilani and the program we have with Bitspilani.
So we will, since on the occasion of World Youth Skills Day tomorrow, so we thought, why not take the opportunity since we are talking about youth to youth. So we thought of taking the opportunity and, discussing and deliberating on how skills, enhancing skills amongst youth at the right age can make a lot of difference. So in December 2014, we were reading that United Nations General Assembly adopted a resolution declaring 15 July as World Youth Skills Day. So the goal is to achieve better socio-economic conditions for today's youth as a means of addressing the challenges of unemployment and underemployment. So on that note, would like to ask you all if there is anything that you think that we are doing right towards skill development in India, since it's skill this entire day, I mean, like a Father's Day, Mother's Day, now World Youth Skills Day is also quite hyped about. So we highlight the importance of providing skill development opportunities to the youth, which is what we are doing through TechBee and then through our graduation courses in universities like BITS Pilani. So in that context, would any of you like to say something?
Professor
So may
Venkat, go
Subbaraman
ahead.
to start. May I request Mr. Subbaraman to start.
Sure, sure,
I
sure.
can
Yeah.
I can add on if required, but TechBee is the hallmark of youth skills development, and I would like the audience to know about TechBee. And we come in later as part of the continuing education programs, though.
Sure. Yeah, but all of us are in skilling. So I think it is a very nice question that you've put across now, Shweta. If I try to connect the dots as to what's going on in this country, right from the time when the country was agrarian, as in focused primarily into agriculture, to when industries started coming in, and that's when the IITs, NITs, and kinds of institutions were set up like 50, 60 years, or maybe 70 years, some of them. From there on to the days where the economy has been moving steadily towards services and now into experiential economy, the kind of skilling that's been required in this industry, I mean, in this country, has been changing too. And with times, especially in the last 5 years or 4 years specifically, that I get to see, there is a lot of forward progress that's been done by the administrators. Now, you look at the new economic policy that's come up. I mean, new education policy that's come up. This policy talks about something very important that we as an organization have been pressing hard on in terms of, I mean, if you take an example, right? One example is you have multiple disciplines, streams brought together in your learning. It's not just a singular dimensional learning, it is multi-dimensional skills brought together. What do we mean by this? I mean, multiple disciplines. If you take, I mean, the world is full of business problems to solve, right? And business problems are nothing but what humanity needs, what human beings require, right? So the requirement of human beings is the paramount importance, and the requirement is fed or serviced by so many different organizations, which are all business institutions all through. Now, to solve this problem that the human beings are aspiring to have solved, it is not just sufficient to know one particular technology or one particular stream of knowledge or being skilled in just one particular area. Now, if you take an example, you want to see if sitting at home somebody can do a consultation with a doctor. Now, it is good to know technology. You can build some software, some tools, and so on. But it is also very important that you try and build a system which has medical information in it, right? So there is clinical information that's required, how doctors will get to see, that's required to be known. So whoever is trying to solve this problem of can I sit at home and get a consultation done needs to know one, technology, needs to know human understanding, needs to know clinical understanding. Fourth, about a little bit about what physicians go through in their lives, right? So this multidisciplinary learning that is coming in the modern education policy, right, is a fantastic forward progressing tool, if I may, which I strongly believe will push the country and humanity forward too, right? So I can go on. This is a key thing, and we are at a fantastic time of positive change in the environment.
Yes, on those lines, we were reading somewhere, and we know about it, that also gave rights, equal rights and recognition to students pursuing online graduation. So this earlier hiccup of not getting the recognition of people, students being apprehensive, parents being apprehensive, that is no more. So I think that's quite a positive step towards development and transformation and students getting skilled. In that light, so we
Right.
have been getting we have been getting questions online about TechBee and about the courses from Bits Pilani. So I would like to, before I get on to the questions, I would also like to tell our viewers that given the phenomenal, TechBee is an established course in early program in India. At least, given the phenomenal success that it had in India, it is now being made available across Sri Lanka, Australia, New Zealand, Vietnam, the Americas, and Canada. On that note, would like to ask you, Subham, why do you think, I mean, why was a program like TechBee envisaged way back in 2017? Was there so much of awareness or the need or curiosity among students to do such a program? India primarily being a country where parents have a major role to play, peers have a major role to play. In that light, when TechBee was envisaged and conceptualized, how did it start actually?
So it's another interesting question, I should say. Um, there's always this point of what you're reading in institutions, what you're studying in institutions, is that sufficient for you to perform your job? That question kept on lingering in many people's minds. And that was the time when our leadership came back and asked us, why do I need degrees to perform entry level IT jobs? This was the fulcrum question. And some of us got together, we were brainstorming as an organization, and after a few weeks and months of deliberation and brainstorming, we realized to perform the entry level IT jobs, you don't require degrees. What you require rather is what's called skills, which is the ability to perform. Like I was telling you like 5 minutes ago, the understanding of what a physician's environment is, understanding of the set of technologies that drive the physician's environment technologically to perform a consultation, right? The understanding of the list of parameters that get captured, understanding of how a consultation can take place, what constitutes a start of a consultation, end of a consultation, and so on. These things can be taught to people. Now, let's for a moment pretend that the entry level job is about either creating one such system or testing one such system, or let's say maintaining one such system. The job is so simple that you just need to break it down into those um, chewable nuggets, if you may, for each individual to understand what he or she has to perform, as against learning a full world of knowledge, right, to perform their job. The knowledge is required for the cognitive development of an individual, but not necessarily for that job. So that was the hypothesis with which we started. And we started, the first batch was like 53 people. It took us a while to even come out saying, should it be 1 year, should it be 15 months, should it be 9 months, how many months should be classroom training, how many months should internship be, and so on. But then we kind of matured from there, right? So the genesis of this is one fundamental question which came from our founding leadership as to why do you need degrees? That brings to another question. Why do we need degrees at all will be a question. Do we need the degrees at all? Of course, yes, we need degrees. They are there to perform a job. But if you want to progress, if you want to solve complex problems, you need your understanding to expand. For the vision to expand, you need knowledge, right? And that is what degrees will give you, right? And today we are with eminent institution, and we have Professor Venkat representing. Such an institution will come in and give you that knowledge which is required for you to widen your understanding of concepts, understanding of the real world where problems are there to be solved. So I preempted a question of why do you need degrees, and I've answered that as well, right, without you asking, Shweta. Professor Venkat, I
Yeah.
hope I've done justice to you as well.
No, that is why these webinars are now. We have many people logging in to view this, because nowadays this webinar has both pronged approach. Like we have from the universe somebody from the academia, and we have somebody from the corporate industry side. So a student, when he comes, so he has a lot of apprehensions in his mind that, maybe I'm doing this program, after this what if I don't get a job. So that is addressed in this program. Or if a student thinks that, I've done my education, I mean I may do my education, but what if I mean this job doesn't work out well for me. So that is why we have both sides of the story, both sides of the table, so people can get both the views. So I'll continue with questions for you, Subha. I have channelized them so that we don't flip flop questions all the time. Just wanted to check with you. Why do you think, students who are coming here, while we are giving them this program, practical experience and everything, do you think we are making them ready for life? Both professionally and academically.
Yes. Um, so, in order to perform a job in a corporate environment, there are certain abilities that one needs to acquire. Abilities in terms of being able to communicate well, being able to understand culture, being able to understand the softer aspects of life, right? Um, Understand a conversation or listen to a conversation and understand the sensitivities of the conversation. These are subtleties that come with time. Those trainings are also done, or skilling, I would say, in order to get the acumen or the faculties trained to listen and pick up these cues, the softer cues, and respond to those softer cues in a professional manner. Right? That training, that skilling gets started at the same time as the technical skilling. In fact, in a few cases, we begin this ahead of time because that's a very important aspect, especially us as HCL Technologies, being primarily into IT services. It's not just products, it's services. So, which means you're dealing with clients from across the globe, and you got to understand their culture, their behavior, their styles, and be able to respond to them in a manner that they understand, right? So this is a skilling that goes on, and it doesn't stop just at the time when somebody becomes an employee, but it continues to be there because one has to evolve, and there's no there's no stop point for such skills. It's a progressive, continual training that one has to do. The first part during the first 1 to 2 years is kind of induced more by the organization, while beyond the first few years, we expect, and it's been working well, the TechBees who become employees to lead the journey, and the organization supplements in terms of providing them the training licenses, the environments to practice, and so on. So getting one ready from a communication and behavior standpoint is very important too, and we focus on that. So far we've been doing very well.
Okay. So that I yes, I think our students, we were seeing the testimonials. So I think yes, we are definitely on the right track. With that, would also like to ask you, India, like I just mentioned, India being a parental pressure driven society, peer pressure, I think, why do you think for tech B, do parents are parents convinced, are parents the ones who are coming showing interest to get their children enrolled, or do you see the interest more in students, that they are seeing their their neighbors, their friends, or their ex classmates getting into this? Who do you think is more interested in tech B?
uh, Very, very fair question. If I go back my memory lane, back in 2017 when we began, it was, I mean, at that time, the students may not have a lot of idea because the thinking has been like, you've done 12th standard or PUC in certain states, equivalent of 12th standard. The next step for us would have been to go into a college, a university environment, study there for 3, 4, 5, whatever number of years, depending on the program, and then look for a job. That's the standard template that was set in India. Now, with this change that we have introduced, we have said you come over, you get the job, and then you look to see where you want to study. As against you look to see where you want to work, now you look to see where you want to study. So it's been flipped. Now, at that time in 2017, if I recall, many children were not ready to make that decision, saying, should I get into a job first and then study? Because I'm afraid if I lose my learning. Now I think there's a lot more acceptance. Right? So hence at that time, parents and elders at home, family, friends, well-wishers used to provide the guidance to the students. Today, I see more students coming forward and convincing their parents, saying, okay, this is the right choice for me because of two important reasons. One is I secure a job, so I attain financial independence much sooner. Two, more importantly, I don't have the pressure to study to get a job. Now the choice is more of my love, my passion. The topic that I'm going to study is not going to impact whether I get my job or not. So my involvement in studies is much stronger. So these two reasons are what I get to hear a lot of students citing. Of course, there are still some cases, in fact, many cases where parents come in and influence, but I'm sure these are changes, right? These will take 10, 15 years for the environment to change completely. We're just in the first leg, covering about 5, 6 years, right? We still have some more time to go. That's what I see.
Good, great, great. Taking cue from what you just said, I have this question for Professor Venkat. If you could tell us, how different do you think students, TechBee students who are coming and pursuing graduation from your university versus your regular students who've come and who are pursuing graduation? Do you see a change in this? When I ask you what is the difference, I mean, a change in that intent, like Supa just said, these people have this pressure on their heads that they need to complete their graduation and get on to and then look for a job and get one, vis-a-vis these people who already have a job in hand but now want to study they because they know, yes, they have to study and that's why they are doing it. So do you see any difference between them? Professor Venkat, I'm
Professor,
sorry, you're speaking on mute. You'll have
I'm
to
sorry.
unmute yourself.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
thank you.
So we treat them as different groups of students. In fact, we have students who are on campus who are joining directly after plus two to pursue their education, because for them education is the goal. Later on they may move on to career goals like jobs or higher studies and so on. For them education is the primary goal with which they come in. Whereas here we have techbees who are very motivated, bright and motivated students who are already employed, and we have a large number of students who are working professionals who want to upskill themselves and enhance their qualification as they move forward in their career. So we see TechBees as a set of bright and motivated students who are aspiring for higher education while they continue to work with HCL and enhance their qualifications, and therefore they participate much more actively in the learning process. They are passionate about what they learn, and they are quite interested in choosing what they want to do as part of their learning experience, and they're much more enthusiastic about the whole program, because as Mr. Subba rightly said, they are already employed full time, and now their passion is to pursue education alongside to acquire a qualification and therefore reach some higher education aspirations later on. So I think they are quite good and quite enthusiastic. In terms of comparison, we didn't have much of an opportunity to compare the two groups of students, but we found the cohorts of TechBees very enthusiastic and actively participating, and the enrollment also has been significant over the past few years in this program, and they are equally proud to be a student of BITS Pilani as a normal student of BITS Pilani would do. But whereas here these people are employed and therefore they are much more serious, and they pursue the programs with the diligence and a lot of effort to earn their uh, qualifications.
Okay. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks for that. I continuing in this chain of thought, only wanted to know your views post COVID-19. Do you think there is an obviously online education emerged, it became important, but now again everything's got back to being offline. There are regulations, regular courses being taken. But do you think the education scenario has changed? There is actually, obviously, we know the University Grants Commission, what the announcement that they had made regarding online education, equal rights, and everything. But do you think the picture actually has changed,
Yes, of
both
course.
from the student's perspective
Yes.
and the college perspective?
Even in BITS, though we had a traditional system of classroom education, we took to online education quite swiftly soon after the COVID outbreak, and we converted everything online. Even our entire campus programs were conducted online, including the exams for a couple of years. And now we are gradually moving back to classrooms and the traditional environment in the class. But as far as TechBee program is concerned, we smoothly transitioned from the classroom program in the first cohort to the online mode in the subsequent cohorts. And we find that the engagement and participation from the students and the interaction between the faculty is much better in the online programs, where the students are less hesitant and more free to interact in the class. They ask questions, they participate actively in the class discussions. And of course, the online programs have their own comfort and convenience and accessibility that a physical classroom offline program may not be able to provide, especially since the TechBee students are located across the country and some of them are still working from home. So, to provide accessibility to all, we found this online mode of delivery of classes as well as exams and as a content quite effective. And we have been leveraging on the strengths of the online mode to make the education as engaging, effective, and as demanding as it should be in terms of the rigor and the content that is delivered.
Okay. So you would be knowing that at HCL Tech, since we believe that education can bring positive transformation in the students' careers. So towards that, we have actually partnered with BITS Pilani, IIM Nagpur, MIT University Online, KL University, and Shastra University. So for students who are actually the tech bees, who are actually contemplating which university they should pick up their graduation with, for them, can I ask you, tech bees who come to your university, do you do a special kind of counseling for them, because they haven't come through the regular graduation route of plus 2 then graduation? They have done tech b, they've done that practical training in tech b of job, education, everything. So now when they come to you, do you do any kind of counseling for them?
Uh, we admit students who have completed their TechBee training based on certain entry criteria in terms of percentage of marks in their qualifying examination. There is no separate counseling, and these are full-time employees of HCL who apply to our program, and based on their performance in class 12, we take them on board. And once they are on, of course, we have regular interactions and counseling in terms of monitoring their progress and guiding them through the program. That is available, but there is no separate entrance test or admission process apart from the plus 2 marks criteria that we have specified.
Okay.
Yes,
May
sir.
I, may I,
Yes,
may I,
please.
I'll like chime in here. So what BITS Pilani will do, like all other partner institutions would be, they would have a 1 hour, 2 hour workshop with the prospective students who are about to become employees of HCL Tech or just become employees of HCL Tech, and will share with them the program structure, the benefits of joining BITS Pilani, benefits of this particular program, which is the which anyway Professor Venkat will talk about now, I assume, right? Why they should join and so on. So that takes place, and they will come in and they will answer all questions that students might have before they enroll with BITS Pilani. So that is the only thing, but it's not an otherwise counseling session which you would typically have in mind, right? But this process still exists.
Oh,
Yeah,
thank you,
sorry,
Mr.
I just
Subba.
want to add
Thank
to
you,
that.
Mr. Subba. I missed on that. I thought of the typical counseling process where they go through a selection process and so on. But we do have a very elaborate town hall, as Mr. Subba mentioned, explaining the academic and operational aspects of the program and the benefits and the future scope and opportunities, career opportunities that the program offers in great detail. Uh, with all the tech bees, and we take all their questions before they decide to apply to BITS Pilani for one of the programs.
Is there, since we are only talking about technology and engineering students and IT, so I just wanted to know, do you have any course in specifically in artificial intelligence or machine learning which you offer to students, and these tech B students take them up?
Okay, at present, we offer a BSc program in design and computing, which is a judicious blend of computer science, humanities, mathematics, and the foundations of science and engineering. This is a unique blend of courses to develop both the logical side, that is the computer science side, as well as the creative side, which is the humanities. And this was a program specially curated on the request of HCL, in elaborate discussion with HCL, because they wanted to create a new generation workforce which is appreciating the humanities part of academics and life in general, as well as the technical side. Like many of the eminent technical personalities who have acquired qualifications in humanities, and they are, uh, they are the most creative people, like the Steve Jobs or the others, Facebook, Zuckerberg, and others. So we wanted to enhance the creative side of the students while they remain uh, techies as well. So we designed this program called BSc in Design and Computing based on the inputs received from HCL, because they wanted to develop a unique kind of talent among the tech bees who wanted to pursue the creative side as well as the technical side together. So we have this program Design and Computing, which offers a good blend of computer science, humanities, plus mathematics and science and engineering courses. But currently, this is the only program that we are offering for tech bees of HCL. And we are not offering programs in artificial intelligence and machine learning at the undergraduate level in BITS Pilani in general. We do have MTech level programs specifically in artificial intelligence and machine learning. But at the BTech level, we have traditional programs. On campus, we have traditional programs like computer science, electrical engineering, and so on. And there are of course electives and minors in data science, which the students can take and specialize in the on-campus computer science programs. Whereas this design and computing program has been benchmarked with the best programs, international programs in design and computing, where we have Parsons School of Design, the Singapore Institute of Technology and Design. We have benchmarked against the best of the programs across the world in creating this unique program which offers the students to pursue humanities as a track along with the best of computing curriculum. So we don't have, to answer your question specifically, we don't have courses on artificial intelligence and machine learning at the undergraduate level.
But I think you have an even better combination. I mean, what you're talking about, mix of humanities and computer science, that really sounds very
Yeah,
impressive.
this encourages creative thinking and
Yeah.
makes them appreciate the various subtler and aesthetic aspects of technology as well as the society.
Okay. Yeah, right, absolutely. So now I just wanted to check with you before I move on to, because I see a lot of questions coming in for Subba as well. So I just wanted to check with you, students who join these TechBee students who join BITS Pilani, do they get an opportunity to participate in your college activities? Because sometimes we feel that students who've taken the TechBee route and then taken up education, so they may sometimes miss out the fun of college life. So, wanted to check with you, do they get a chance to come in and participate in
Of
your college
course,
fests and activities?
yes, they are most welcome. They are students of BITS Pilani, and all cultural and academic fests and events are open to all students of BITS Pilani and all the other invitees who come from various other colleges. And these announcements are always available on our websites and other sources, social media, and all. So these students are always welcome to participate in all academic, sports, curricular, extracurricular activities on any of our campuses.
Wow. That I am sure a lot of students. Yes, Subba, yes.
Yeah. So I think these students have a double whammy. They get a double whammy. They have the opportunity to participate in the institution's fests, as well as the opportunity to participate, have fun and frolic and music and everything in what we conduct within HCL Tech
Right.
campuses across the country, right? So they get to participate on both sides. So if you asked a
Right.
question, will there be opportunity at all? Will they lose out when they actually get double the dose than the normal one, which would get only single?
Yes. Yes, as
Right,
a
right.
full-time employee, they have their regular activities and fun in HCL as colleagues, and as students, we will give them enough opportunities to interact with the faculty and students on campus.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful. So now I have come to the next question, which I will be asking Subba, but I would if Professor Venkat has an answer, that will also be great. Which part of India do you think? I mean, what is the trend? Is any part of India showing more interest towards TechBee? I mean, if we geographically divide, like I am from Calcutta, so I know, the eastern part of India, they still have their old school of thought. I mean, I am sure every world's changing, everybody's emerging, but if I go by tradition in our childhood, it's like hardcore education till you die. So in that context, would like to know from you, is there any trend that you see in India?
So the way I like to respond to this is it's a factor of how many students appear for 12th standard and are ready to work, and a factor of how progressive an environment they have in order to take on jobs, and a factor of how receptive are they to embrace the concept of let me start into a job first and education next, because it's a western concept. If you really look at it, this is a concept, while it was deep rooted in our culture in India several thousands of years ago, hundreds of years ago, somewhere in between, for a few hundred years it was not as prominent. Now many western cultures have this concept of going into job first, or internship first, job next, and then education later. This model of TechBee is similar. Different parts of, I mean, it's very hard to stereotype and say a part of India is like this or that, but whichever families are looking at progressiveness from this standpoint, we've seen them come across from all over the country. Um, of course, our big segments will be from certain pockets by virtue of their need to get into a IT job oriented curriculum, or by sheer aspect of volumes that they produce a particular district or a state in the country, as to how many apply to 12th standard and beyond. But those are, in my view, very transactional numbers. But if I look at it culturally, those families, wherever they are across the country, if they've had this progressive mindset and want to get into internship first and formal education later, in fact, I wouldn't say more than formal education, aligned education later, right? Those families are coming from all across the country. I mean, they're those that are coming from Jammu and Kashmir to Gujarat and western parts of Rajasthan to Kanyakumari to, in fact, we have people from Mizoram and Manipur as well. Yeah, everywhere across. And rest of India is all within here. So we got students from everywhere here. And these are families which exhibit the characteristics that I just now talked about.
That's nice to know. In Do you think do you give opportunities to students to tech bees? Do you give them international exposure, like not just going abroad and settling there? I mean, do they get to work with international clients? I mean, are they treated like regular HCL Tech employees once they join the company?
Yeah. So all clients HCL has today, our global clients are the ones we are pursuing, right? All these employees, all these tech bees that come in, go into global clients, right? Um, they have an exposure of working with different cultures. There could be clients from Far East to clients in the Midwest to clients in the Western parts of the world, everywhere. And with this, they get to learn the culture. And that's one of the reasons why at the beginning of this program today, I was talking about how we skill them to um, be able to communicate and work with multiple cultures, right? So yes, on one end, even though some tech bees have already traveled abroad within the first few years of they being employed with HCL, it doesn't necessarily happen to everybody. It depends on the opportunity in that client engagement or that particular relationship. So if you're there at that time and the opportunity opens up, HCL will not stop you. HCL will be very happy to send you across, go learn the culture even more emphatically. But otherwise, yes, they get that exposure to working with global clients sitting in India. That is right from the day they get deployed into a job. In fact, many get to do that during internship as well. So that's how early somebody gets exposed to other cultures, very early on in somebody's lives and career.
That's wonderful. Professor Venkat, my next question is to you. Just would like to know, why do you think, students, once they have taken this step of Tech B, then, doing the program, joining HCL Tech, and then taking up a graduation program. So there is sometimes confusion in their minds. They are unable to decide what do they want to do, which university to go with. So I would like to ask you, is there anything that you would like to tell our students? I mean, if they have to choose BITS Pilani, why would they do it? I mean, what is it that that will make a difference in their lives if they pursue graduation with BITS Pilani?
Okay, thank you. Thank you for the opportunity. Now, while the students have the choice, since HCL collaborates with a number of premier institutions, it is up for them to choose a program of their choice based on their career aspirations and academic interests, uh, and of course their professional goals and so on. BITS being a institution of eminence deemed to be university, and a program that has been curated in collaboration with HCL, with a lot of input from HCL as well as benchmarked against international universities as a unique program. It is unlike a traditional computer science degree program. It is to nourish and enrich the creative side of the students while building very strong foundation in technical skills. We have created a unique program called Design and Computing, and therefore if they want to pursue a unique program which will give them a much more larger set of opportunities, from not only being a developer to a UI designer to many other creative roles that they can pursue as part of their future career opportunities, they could choose this program for its academic content and, of course, the rigorous academic processes and the pedagogy and the education system that BITS is renowned for as a premier institution of higher education, especially for continuing technical education of working professionals, which we have been pioneering since the last 4 decades. Apart from establishing modern educational practices, the latest curriculum, and so on. So, when students want the BITS Pilani experience of education, they would they could apply to our programs depending on their career interests and aspirations. When they look at the program, the curriculum, the pedagogy, the rigor, and the rich alumni base that BITS offers, apart from the numerous facilities and other features that BITS education system offers, they can uh, decide among the options that they have and choose the program that suits their interests.
Oh, I'm sure now students will be in a better position to decide what they should go for. And my last question to Subha for the day would be, I have been reading on your websites, you've tied up with a lot of governments across India for empowering. So since tomorrow is World Youth Skills Day, so I would like to take this opportunity to ask you, how are you tying up with these governments? What is the intent that you're tying up with them to reach out to more and more students, skill and empower them? Is this how you're going about it?
Yeah, absolutely. This is a very pertinent question around the World Youth Skills Day. Yeah. Um, Across the world, skilling is a priority across the world, not just in India. And in India, almost all states require skills to be imparted because every government is looking to get their particular jurisdiction to be progressive, to be productive. And to be productive, skills are required. So the tie-ups that we have been doing all across have been where the government is working with us to make the youth, which are, I mean, for us, the youth are the ones in the 12th standard, just completed 12th standard, to help us reach out to them, help us conduct certain assessments. There are, in fact, certain places where the district collectors, the DMs, the district magistrates, as they're called in certain places, they come forward and they organize the event. They stand with us shoulder to shoulder and explain why somebody should join the TechBee program and choose any of the premier institutions that we've partnered with, and how likely it is that one's career could end up very, very flourishing over time, right? So with that intent, many governments, I think more than 20 odd governments or government departments have come forward so far and signed up with us, and they're all helping us. That's helping this program go in a big way too.
Okay. So now, so before we end, I will take this opportunity. So we've already seen a video of one of our TechBee scholars here. So now we would take this opportunity to show another celebrity TechBee, Krish Gangesh, who's an analyst at HCL Tech, and he's doing his graduation, pursuing his graduation from BITS Pilani. In this video that we see, he shares his story on how he defeated the rat race and opted for an early career program in order to start life early. Starting from financial independence to early corporate experience to global exposure and early professional life. While his peers were still pursuing or dropping studies, he was already many steps ahead. Let's see Krish here. Arindam, if you can, please.
Hey freshers, I'm Krish. How are you feeling today? Wait, I know. You are feeling excited about joining an IT company. You may be thinking about all awesome opportunities that you are going to explore with this job. TechBee HCL's early career program is a golden opportunity for everyone to get independent at a very early age. The program is flexible and helps us prioritize our studies and professional journey for our lives. I got a chance to learn many new technologies and was able to work in a corporate environment with experienced professionals. At an age when my classmates were dropping for a year for preparation of competitive exams or pursuing graduation,
Shweta, you're on mute if you're speaking.
Thank you so much, Subba. So, with that note, we will end today. So, thank you so much, Subba and Professor Venkat, for joining us. I am sure our students were really, they got what they wanted to know. And happy World Youth Skills Day to all of us. May we all see an empowered and an unemployment eradicated India in future. Thank you so much.
Look forward to happy being amidst all of you. Wonderful evening. Thank you, Professor Venkat. Thank you, Shweta. Thank you,
Thank,
students.
thank you,
Build
Professor.
a bright India.
Thank you.
Bye.